Here it is. Here's the back. That was anticlimactic. Sorry, guys. And now it's upside down, and there we go. Hello knitters, Barbara Benson here. I am an independent knitwear designer who also likes to make videos here on my YouTube channel, Watch Barbara Knit. If you would like to know more about my knitwear designs, please check in the description below, and there you will find a link to my Ravelry page where you can find patterns to knit up, and I'd love to hear about it if you do. Also in the description below, you will find a link to the Watch Barbara Knits Facebook group. I'd love to have you come over and join, and there we can continue the conversations that we have started here on the YouTube channel. And as always, I love chatting with people in the comments under the video, so please feel free to pipe up. Now, today I have for you a yarn review. We call it Swatch Lab, where I take a yarn that is new to me. It could be a new yarn, it could be just one I haven't worked with before, and I put it through its paces. And based on a request that I received on my last Swatch Lab, today we have for you a yarn that has exotic fiber content, which is super cool. This is from Bijou Basin Ranch, which is in Colorado, and it is a 50% merino, which is, you're like, that's not exotic, Barbara, but it's 50% yak, which is really super cool. Yak is as soft or softer than cashmere, and it is warmer than wool. So it makes a very soft but very warm garment. And this one is blended with merino, so it has some, what I experienced in doing my swatches was that I don't think yak has the memory that wool has. It blocked beautifully. It didn't have the desire to pull back into shape, but I think that blending it with the merino gave it the ability to hold its shape a little bit better. So it's a really good blend. I really enjoyed knitting with it. I did look on their website. I'll put a link in the description below to it because it's got a lot of really interesting information in it. Obviously, yak are from Tibet, and they're Chinese, but they have yak in Colorado also, so that's super cool. And there's cute pictures of fuzzy critters, and they explain some stuff about it. I looked through, and they carry not only the yak fibers, but they also carry kiviot and vicuña, which are both very luxury fibers. I have never worked with and don't expect to anytime soon, but it is one of those things that if you wanted to get yourself like a real treat, both vicuña and kiviot are super soft and super warm. But I honestly feel like the yak's also a great treat. They have cashmere yarn there also. It is family owned and operated, which is always great. Let's see, what else do we have here? So, somebody commented when I did the unboxing for this yarn that one of the things they really like about yak yarn is that it doesn't pill the way that wool tends to pill, which would tell me it also isn't going to felt particularly, which kind of goes hand in hand with me getting the feel for it that it doesn't have quite the memory, because the thing that gives wool memory is the same thing that causes it to pill and felt. So that makes total sense, and my experience has gone according to what they predicted. So here is the review of the Bijou Spun Himalayan Summit yarn. Bijou Spun Himalayan Summit. This is from Bijou Basin Ranch, and as you can see, they're in Elbert, Colorado, and product of Tibet and USA, because the vast majority of the yaks, I believe, in the world are actually in Tibet, even though they have some in Colorado. Not enough to make enough beautiful yarn for you guys. And look at that, cool, he's a yak. That's what a yak looks like. I think they're pretty funny. The yarn that we're looking at right now is Himalayan Summit. So Bijou Spun is the brand name of their yarn, and Himalayan Summit is this particular yarn. It is 50% yak down, 50% super fine merino. And if we look here, 3.5 ounces, 325 yards, 6 stitches per inch, number 3 to a number 5 US needle. This is a fingering weight yarn, but it's very solidly on the fingering weight. It's not like a light fingering, it's definitely fingering. You can see here, that's my handwriting. I have a habit of whenever I ball up yarn, I weigh it just to see exactly what it was. So that was 100, this ball happened to be 100 grams. So they definitely give you what they say they're gonna give you. It says hand wash warm, dry, flat. There you go. That is what we get from our tag. Let's see what we get from our yarn. This is the yarn. This is colors Turmeric, I believe. And it is a beautiful, beautiful kind of almost terracotta-y almost orange, burnt orange. I don't know. It's beautiful. It is amazingly soft. I don't know that I can communicate that effectively to you. As usual, I want to show you what the ply looks like. It is not tightly plied. It is definitely got plied. I've teased out on the end, so we definitely have 3 plies here. And let's do our pull test to see how much floof we have. So that's just me holding it gently, and we pull it. It gets a little bit thinner, but not a lot. So we don't have a huge amount of floof. There's not a lot of air spun into this yarn. So it's almost a what you see is what you get. It was wonderful to knit with. It feels beautiful, ran through my fingers nicely. It's not so loosely spun. It wasn't particularly splitty, so it was super nice. And here's the ball again. Just gorgeous. It's very squishy. Let's get out. So here's my swatch, my messing around swatch. I started out with some garter. I may have, for garter, overblocked it a little bit, but I tend to block assertively. You can see the garter, it opened up. If you wanted a nice, I knit on whatever they called for. So I knit on the, they gave me a range. What did I knit this on? Hang on, guys. Let me get my bag. I always leave my needle in my bag. I knit this on an imaginary needle. It doesn't tell me. There we go. It's upside down. I knit this on a 5. Let's see if you can see that. These are hard to show on the internet, on the video. There we go. I knit it on a 5. If you wanted, so I knit it at the top end of their recommended. If you wanted a dense garter, I would recommend, you would need to go down, I would stick with the 3 or even tighter, because as you can see, when I blocked it, it opened up. Now, that's fabulous for a shawl, which is I knit predominantly, but you might want to knit a little tighter. I did some lace and some cables here, as you can see, and the lace is gorgeous. The yak, I think that the yak has a little less memory. It's less grabby than the wool, so it's not wanting to pull back as much as it would if this was 100% wool. So it's actually holding the lace, I think, better than wool would. And you can see, here's my cable. The cables are nice. This is not a tightly spun yarn, so it's not big and round and bouncy, so you're not getting like super pop-uppy cables, but it held the cable all right. It's coming out of the reverse stockinette that I did. I think this would be a good choice if you're not wanting to do like really, really, I said poppy, like really stand out cables. It works fine with cables, but I don't know that I'd do like an intricate Aran type cable on it. Here's a little bit of texture. I just did a bit of basket weave. Again, I think this would work better, the basket weave, on a denser gauge. So on the 3s, you would have less openness here. And then I started playing. I wanted to see what a 1/1 cable would look like. And let me get I think it looks better with my hand behind it. And I didn't care for it here, but this did. And then I did them right on top of each other. And I think that's a really interesting look. And what I did here was, I think it was 6 rows of stockinette and then a cable. So there's 3 cables on the right side. And I think it might look really cool if I alternated this. So if I move this cable down here, so this was cable and then open, and this was cable and then open, it would look really cool. So I think I might play with that some more. And then I decided to do a little bit of brioche because I've never done brioche before. Again, I think I might have overblocked it because brioche is supposed to be dense, but you can see it's very cool. And the softness, now yak is warmer than wool, so you could get away with it being open like this and still have a fairly high insulation property. But you can see the stockinette, it's beautiful. The dye job, you can see it has a slight bit, it's not like a solid, it has a little bit of variation to it, which I really like. It gives it a lot more depth, in my opinion. I think the brioche looks great, and because of how well it held the block, you get these really pretty effect. And look how, isn't that cool? How it does these little X-y things. I like it. And the back, since this brioche looks the same, here's the back of everything else. You can see the back of the lace. But, so, lace, extra big check. I think any kind of lace shawl, this would be absolutely amazing. Soft cables, I think it performs nicely. It doesn't lay down completely flat, but it isn't, as I said, a big bouncy yarn, so it's not going to give you like, woo, cables. And I really want to play with this, and I think it's great for brioche. It'll give you a nice, soft fabric. There, that is super cool. And I told you guys I would swatch something Japanese. Here it is. Here's the back. That was anticlimactic. Sorry, guys. And now it's upside down, and there we go. So this is from my Japanese Stitch Dictionary. And I started out down here, and you can see this is the way it was written. It had 1/2 cables, and I really didn't like how that looked in this yarn. I don't think it gave much of an effect. So then I changed that so it was 2/1 instead of 1/2. And so this was a cable on the right side row, return row, cable on the right side row, and so they're stacked right on top of each other. And I didn't care for that in this context, so I did 2/1 and moved them apart, and I like that better just in this particular yarn. And then up here I added a 3rd one, and that was going too far. I took it one step too far, so I think I like this middle one the best. Now, because this is Japanese, you can see how these aren't twisted? That's because this has lace work on both the right side and the wrong side. And that is what's getting us this really crisp movement. I can show you the chart I made, and you can see how I messed around with it. But see how you've got yarn overs on every single row and decreases on every single row? That is what makes this lace come out the way it does and gives you the movement that you get. So working flat, that means purl 2 together through the back loop and fun things like this. But if you worked it in the round, you're not really going to run into those more tricky stitches. So the Japanese, this is what Japanese is not, they don't shy away from more intricate lace work. But I think it's beautiful. I really like how this came out. And obviously I can't leave well enough alone is what one of my problems is moving. See, I changed these, I eliminated this one, I added this one up here, and then I added this one. I don't like that one. So the modifications I may see, and I ended up putting it in there and didn't like it. So I like it here and here. I think it's very cool and beautiful. And I sort of like it as a panel like this. It could be a fun panel, just, I don't know. I might be a little too light for a hat, maybe for a cowl. It's definitely too big of a motif to go on a mitt. You can see it takes up too much space. To me, a mitt, it would have to be in a finer weight yarn. Or maybe I would say go down a needle size, but going down a needle size, you're going to lose this openness. So I don't know. I could play with it some more. You guys can tell me what you think. I think it could be a beautiful cowl. And I don't know if you'd want to repeat this all the way around. Maybe just work the one panel and do the rest in a texture stitch. Or I kind of like the idea of doing the panel and then what I was talking about with alternating this up and down with like little cable-y guys. Or maybe, I don't know, would it go with the brioche, like a lace panel in the middle of a brioche cowl? Nah, that's not going to work because that's going to do weird things. Who knows? Maybe I'll swatch it. But that is the Bijou Spun Himalayan Summit Yak and Merino. It is a beautiful yarn. It has great depth of color. I highly think it is fantastic for lace. It works great for cables. It's super soft and would make a super snuggly pretty much anything. And since the yak is warmer than merino, it is going to keep you very, very warm. I hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you for watching it. It's funny. Also, one of the blends that I forgot to mention that I found really interesting is they have a yak bamboo blend, and that rang a bell. And so I dug through my stash and I was able to find, look, I actually have some in my stash. It's called Lhasa Wilderness, and it is a bamboo yak blend. And I really now want to knit something up with this. And I actually love these together, but this is like a sport weight and this is a fingering weight. So I don't know that I can do anything with them together, but if they have this color on this yarn, I might be getting into it. They have beautiful yarns. Again, go check out their website. It is Bijou Basin Ranch. Thank you so much for sending me this yarn to play with. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It is absolutely beautiful yarn. And look, it's so much fun. My giant swatch. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, click that like button, and if you would like to be notified whenever I upload a new video, please subscribe to my channel and select notifications, and share this video with your knitting friends if you think they might enjoy it. Thank you so much. Okay. Seriously?